Super Animal Royale. Hold on. You know what? That reminds me. I have not... I don't think I've... did I wishlist that? One of these days, I want to get into Super Animal Royale. Because it looks like a fun game. Super Free Edition. Oh, well. Would you look at that? Huh. Is it... okay, I'll have to look at that. Some more after the stream is over. Hold on. Turn the audio. Okay, so this... Lurk for a bit, gotta do some stuff. Alright. The trouble with, like, relaxing games is it might be relaxing to me. Bad start. But it needs to be relaxing for everyone involved. You know. So that's, like, to me, something that is relaxing to watch is, like, watching high-level Slay the Spire. It's extremely stressful and, you know, very brain-intensive to play, but it's relaxing to watch. The problem is, like this. I don't know. It's complicated to get my exact thoughts on the matter down. But okay, fine. Yes, this is the... What was the first game ever played on the stream? I remember that some people were here. I think Noob and maybe Biscotti was here for the first ever morning stream. I did some late night streams that no one came to because I was testing things out. But what was the first game ever played? Can I get there? That's not a... God damn it. Oh, god damn it. Anyway, so the goal here, what I want is to top my old high score, which is at 250,000. I want to become top 1,000 in the world. Occasionally I do this, you know, I play this little game. I play it when I'm listening to people talk, or I'm, you know, lurking in streams. It's a nice little game. It might be Race the Sun. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, can I get through there? No, I cannot. No, I cannot. Oh, okay. 1 minute. The trouble with games like this is that unless you consider music, unless you consider ambient sounds like the rush of wind to be music, this game is very light on music. Which is to say there isn't any. But between you and me, this game, it's a $3 game that I bought for $1.50. So if it doesn't have music, that's appropriate for the price point. Shit. Oh, the Slay the Spire. Yeah. The sound and music design of Slay the Spire are indeed very good. But the second thing about it that I really like is its it's a very deep, it's a deep but transparent game. It has depth and it telegraphs well. I would say it's probably one of the best games, like in terms of like innovative design and just in terms of good design. It's probably one of the top 10 games released in the last 5 years. It's that good. Lends itself well to funny challenge runs. Like, when I unwind with Spire, I'm generally watching a guy who has this ongoing quest. He wants to beat every Ascension in a row. So he starts at Ascension 1. He wants to beat the heart on every Ascension. So he starts at Ascension 1. And when he beats the heart of the Spire on Ascension 1, he goes to Ascension 2. And then when he beats the heart on Ascension 2, he goes to Ascension 3. And the dream is that he's going to win 20 runs back to back. And he ain't done it yet, but we believe in him. So stuff like that. The fact that it's like a smart, deep game and it lends itself well to challenge runs and shenanigans. That's why I like it. One of these days when it goes on sale, if it goes on sale again in the next half a year or whatever, when next it goes on sale, I will be interested in buying it. Hell, I'll be interested in playing it on stream if it comes to that. See, I don't know if that's something I would do for myself, to play a challenge like that. But like to watch, it's very nice. It's something that you can watch, and it's complicated enough that it takes your brain off other things. It lets the worrying part of your brain actually rest, which is something that historically, myself and many other people struggle with. So I also like it. I also like to watch people learn the game and understand how the pieces fit together. Like Jimmy in the chat plays Slay the Spire occasionally. And that's nice. That's nice too. It doesn't have the League of Legends problem. Like, the League of Legends problem is lots of people play League of Legends, but personally I don't watch or play. It's just not my cup of tea. But they say it's mostly high-level play that people really dig. So, and I think Spire it's beginner-friendly, because you get to see how a person's brain works. And it's fun. It does what a good stream video game is supposed to do. Yep, you missed it, Biscotti. Don't worry, you didn't die alone. You died at the same time as everyone else, when our ship was ripped apart and all the little people were scattered into space. You may have lived slightly longer, depending on how long you can hold your breath. But that run is over. I may have made a few critical mistakes. These things happen. Oh yeah, we died twice. We booted up another run, and then we died in literally the first sector. It was terrible. So now we're just doing some of this instead. Just a little bit of high score chasing. Can I make that? Yeah, I can make that. Absolutely. There we go. Did I die? You did not die twice. Noob did, though. Noob died twice. Yep. Noob... he went off to fight aliens or something, and then he died terribly. He died bravely, but he did die terribly. And then we got a new noob. This time a slug person. And that noob died too. So... like a shadow, noob died twice. Can I go through there? Yeah, I can. There we go. How did he get so high up in the air? This game comes with many such questions. Well, obviously this is Fly Guy Heaven. You see, this guy died while skydiving, and he thought skydiving was so great that he wanted to skydive forever. So here he is in Skydiver Heaven, where as soon as you reach the bottom, you just go back to the top. So you can skydive after you skydive. I heard you like skydiving, so I put a skydive underneath your skydive so you can skydive after you skydive. That is the canon as far as I'm concerned. It is the only canon I know. We've not come up with anything smarter or more revolutionary yet. If you know why and how he got so high up in the air, then you can share that wisdom with us. He sky died. Oh, imagine that. Well, if you gotta be going, then I bid you adieu, and I will catch your stream later. So the gist of this game is, like many games that are notably light on story, this is an arcade-style game, where you do as good as you can, and then eventually you fail, and then you just try again. Or eventually you reach the peak of goodness, and you retire. But I can only retire once I have reached top 1,000 in the world. Now, of course, when I reach that peak, then I'll have to find something else to replace this game with. But that's the cost of doing business. I had fun being the captain of the ship. You were a good captain for like 5 minutes until your ship exploded. Which you can take credit for or not. I wonder if I could do, like, put a song request bot on top of this. The trouble with song request bots is that there's no perfect audience size for it. Or maybe there is, but, you know, the average person has, like, maybe 5 songs. Maybe 5 songs they want to request, and then once those songs have been requested, you know, they've had their fun. Well, the trouble is, eventually, you just exhaust everyone's interest, and the whole thing peters out pretty quickly. Also, there's that whole trouble of, like, I can't exactly, not sure I can exactly put this on YouTube if it has, you know, if it has a bunch of songs from YouTube and Spotify and where else on it. So there's that. Also, I hate this map. I hate this map. It's not a good map. It's all spooky and foggy. The remastered Lego Harry Potter. What a world. Ooh, okay. Don't crash. Not even a little bit. No crashing allowed. Alright, we're done here. Alright, we're a quarter of the way there. Maybe more. Probably a third of the way now. It's, the trouble with high score runs in arcade-style games is that they tend to get very long. You know. Obviously, this is a spaceman who went into a black hole and his ship exploded. And now he is traveling through the black hole dimension. It's possible that he was in a ship and the ship was on a perilous mission. But eventually, as ships on perilous missions do, his ship exploded. And as the reactor for his ship exploded, it created a gravitational rift thingy. Just add some technobabble in there somewhere. And then it sent him through the multiverse. And now he finds himself in a strange infinity of realities where he is falling forever. That's right. Superflight is a spin-off of FTL. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that, huh? Also, another trouble with chill games, especially chill games that you are, that you become highly familiar with, is that it becomes harder to produce commentary for them. For a game like FTL or Slay the Spire, where the moment-to-moment like decision making is very complex, there's always things to talk about. You say, okay, I'm going to buy this Vulcan cannon because it's great, and I'm going to sacrifice all my other gun capabilities because my faith in the Vulcan cannon is just that strong. See, and that's a conversation piece. Or, you know, I'm going to do this masterful strategy where I mind control the pilot so that he cannot pilot, and then that will help the missile land. But as you get more and more familiar, and less becomes notable to you, it becomes harder to produce meaningful commentary. And I'm kind of like, this game is a simple game, and there's not a whole lot to talk about. Well, there's like plenty to talk about, but the arcade style of it means that there's not a lot of long-term planning. There's not. It's a more reaction and like physical skill-based game than intellectual skill-based game. So intellectual skill-based games lend themselves very well to the conversational style of streaming, whereas this, it kind of relies on external conversation, like, how was your day today, chat? And if it's not too late to ask, how was your day today, chat? You enjoying your Thursday so far? My Thursday is not terrible. I mean, I did lose a run of FTL to just in the most tragic way. It was like highly tragic. The most tragic is perhaps an overstatement. I like this map. I'm gonna save this map, come back to it later. Can I go through there? I believe. Whoa, okay. Yeah, we lived. Very cool. See, sometimes there's moments like that where you ask, can I get through there? And then the answer is either yes or no. It's not yes and, it's not no but. It's just yes or no. The one-hit kill system is also a little troublesome to produce commentary for. Given that, you know, all mistakes are final, and all mistakes are rather severe. Kind of a weird game in that regard. Isn't there a game where you're a bird woman, where you can fly around with a small story? I don't know about that one. No homework, it's about to thunderstorm. Well, interesting. Thunderstorms can be cool. No homework is certainly a good one. I guess half the skill of streaming, I imagine, is being able to produce, you know, being able to produce something that's the most like basic boilerplate answer possible. Being able to, oh god, I hate it. Oh god, I hate it. Okay, we're not dead. Being able to produce meaningful commentary, something that is good to listen to, and something being good to listen to and something being good to watch, they're two very different facets of streaming. I'm not sure which one comes first. I think being something to listen to comes first. I don't know why. I'm kind of still figuring out. Doggo's trying to eat your Wendy's. Goddamn, man. Tell your dog to stop. One, because Wendy's is probably not very good for dogs. Now, it's not good for humans, but at least humans know it's not good for them. Can I do this? Oh, that's a tight one. Yeah, there's some tight ones. Alright, halfway there. Don't let your dog eat your Wendy's. I don't know if my brain is just tired today. It's possible I drank too damn much coffee. I was feeling slow and sluggish, so I had a second cup of coffee. And I'm thinking now that might have been a mistake. There's only so much coffee a person needs during one day. I'm normally a 3-cup-a-day person. They're half cups, mind you. It's not like I'm not getting the Starbucks venti 3 times a day. So they're small cups. But, you know, perhaps it is unwise to get so much coffee so early in the morning. So early in the day. There's also a secondary trouble with extremely fast-moving games like this. Difficult to look at chat. Be right back. Sometimes you gotta take a moment. You gotta pause, because, you know, the whole one-hit kill business is, it means that you can't really afford to look away. I learned that streaming Enter the Gungeon, mostly. Because you can look at chat, but if you look at chat in the middle of combat, it might go poorly for you. Where do you live, noob? Over in New York? It's hailing there? It's like almost summer here. It's we're looking at like 60 degrees. Overall, it's pretty nice. Well, it rains during summer. It rains during summer. Ooh, I don't like this place very much. The real dark places like this, hard to get a decent look. So we're gonna choose not to do that one. We'll swoop. The multicolored spaces, the multicolored landscape, I guess. Skyscape? I don't know. The multicolored skyscape here is it's a little hard to always know what you're getting into. The telegraphy is not always perfect, but, you know, it's a sacrifice. If you want to have pretty land masses, sometimes that means that your land masses are confusing. This is a game that requires some on-the-fly visual interpretation. Oh, okay. I could have gone in there, but it might have killed me. I want to go in here. Yeah, I do. Okay, good. We lived. This game has little snap decisions of like going into dangerous places for the points, because that's how you get the high ranks. You go do dangerous things for points. That's dang it. I don't like this level very much. Some levels are better for points and some levels are worse for points. And that's kind of a thing to adapt to. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Biscotti living that SoCal life, where the summer is just AS. It doesn't even get cold during the winter. Oh. Hello, Creedmoor. Welcome. As you can see, we're doing some of this. Just a little bit of high score attempt here. It's kind of a meditative game, which I think it's good to have, you know, a kind of a calm, meditative game in your arsenal. Tetris is like that for some people. Tetris is like that for me sometimes. Tetris 99 is not like that. Because Tetris 99 is, you know, there's a multiplayer element that makes it, that gives it a much different dynamic. You finally dropped below 40. Oh, Superflight. This is just keyboard. The entire control scheme of this game is just 4 buttons. There's turn left, turn right, pitch up, pitch down. It's super simple. You could play it with a flight stick if you wanted to. If that's the kind of thing you're into, you could definitely play it with a flight stick. The additional analog sensitivity from the flight stick might actually not mean anything, because this is probably built for keyboard and not for flight stick. But, you know, if the inputs map, then you could definitely use a flight stick. Nothing's stopping you. Oh, we're gonna go into there. That's actually not that impressive. It's just a bit... I thought it was a little tiny space I could squeak into, but it's a big wide space. And squeaking into a big wide space, it's just not that impressive. And you will not be rewarded as greatly. So there's kind of a, what do you say, there's, when you get deeper into a run, there's a little... there's an instinct to play it safe. Because when you're 150,000 points in to a 250,000 point run. You do still need to keep doing tricks, but there comes a point where you limit yourself to the tricks that you are very confident you can pull off. And you take less risks, because I've had a lot of runs that, like, they died at 50,000 because I took a risk. So as you get higher and higher into the score, the kind of risks that would kill you become less and less appealing. And that's just game theory. Oh, excuse me, I was supposed to meme that. But that's just a theory. A game. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. You almost had me, meme culture. You almost had me. Not this time. Oh, God. I hate it. Sometimes you pull up too soon, and you get caught in a weird limbo, and you can die when the screen is whited out. So that's something to be very mindful of. Can I make it in there? Hope so. Yeah, I can. Say the line. Nope. 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 Can I get out of here? Yeah, I can. Very cool. It's not just a theory, though. You say it's... See, that's what you do. That's what you do when you're trying to hedge your bets. When you want to... That's like when you say, just kidding, at the end of a statement that may or may not be a joke. So it's like, stand behind your theory. Don't say, oh, but that's... Well, that's just a theory, you know, oh, it's just an idea. You know, maybe I mean that and maybe I don't, depending on whether people are into it or not. But that's the coward's way out. Alright? And I am many things, but I'm not that kind of coward. So no, I'm gonna say that's not just a theory. That is my understanding of the functionality of the universe. Which is basically... Okay, so that's basically what a theory is. A theory is something that people actually put work into. Like the Big Bang Theory, it's the best we can come up with. Now, it has limitations, but it's so far not falsified. And so far, we haven't come up with anything better. So a theory is it's a very, like, fancy, it's a very important word. And to call your hypotheses theories, frankly, is disrespectful to the word theory. So what he should be saying all these times is, but that's just a hypothesis. A game hypothesis. But he doesn't want to say that. Because he wants the prestige that comes with theory over hypothesis. That's right. This is the Gale throws shade hour at other internet personalities. We got past the Gale throws anti-shade at Internet Personality segment of the show, and now we're on the Gale throws shade part of the show. So buckle your seatbelts, because we're leaving this section of the show, because I really don't. Like, there's only so much shade I can throw before eventually I just run out of shade to throw. I'm like, I'm only so big. How much sun can I possibly blot out? And another thing. Chaining bits. See, that's another thing you gotta get good at. You could probably study stand-up comedy for this. To get good at streaming, you gotta be able to chain bits. You gotta, like, chain bits together. Because one bit is one bit, but you're not trying to make a bit. You're not even trying to make a bit show. What you're trying to do is create a cohesive product, and what that requires is it requires you to chain the little things you have into better things. And perhaps it's ironic that I have nothing to chain with that, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. I mean, I could chain things. There's always more to chain with it if you have things to talk about. The question is... the question is, what do you want to talk about? Do you think MatPat's son will become the game hypothesist? Possibly? The game hypothesisinator. Sure. Something someone said. Oh, why do you avoid the portals? That is a good question, Sans. And sometimes I avoid them, and sometimes I cannot get to them reliably. Like, I'll show you a portal coming up. There should be one in the near future. Like, there will be a portal in front of a wall. And if I hit the portal, it's all hunky-dory. Everything is coming up Millhouse. If I missed the portal, I hit the wall and I die. So... there are, there are times when you want to prioritize portals, and times when, well, basically, portals are always worth hitting, unless you're in the middle of a combo that you're, trying to rack up. It's good to hit portals, generally. But if, if acquiring a portal is too risky, then it's not worth it. The cost-benefits don't... the cost-benefit analysis doesn't shake out. So mostly I do want to be hitting the portals, because they're worth points. But sometimes I don't want to hit the portal. Or rather, I want to hit the portal, but I can't afford to. It's too risky. Game hypothesisinator. Yes, the hypothetical offspring of MatPat and evil genius Doofenshmirtz becomes, in the far future, the game hypothesisinator. Can I get in there? That's real tight. You can get there, but it's not a good business decision to try. So it's not like I can't, or even that I shouldn't. It's just not a good business decision to do a lot of the things. Alright. 1 second. See, and even when a portal is good to hit, you still want a backup plan, because some portals can be a little tricky. Like for that portal, even though I'm aiming for the portal, I'm already turning away, so that in case I miss the portal, as I have done, not recently, but it happens. In case I miss the portal, I do not die for my mistake. So like the long-term score approach for this game, it's like, you can think of it in terms of economics. You want to maximize, you want to take the safe bets. But if you only take safe bets, like if you still have to take the bet. Like if you never get close to the mountain, you never get any points. So you do have to take some gambles. MatPat has a son? I didn't know that. It's a lot. You know, sometimes they grow up so fast. Alright, we're at 200,000. We're in the home stretch. But like one run of this can take like an hour. So you don't want to lose an hour's worth of gliding progress just to pull off a cool trick. Now, if you have good confidence that you can pull off that gliding trick, then, you know, by all means, it might be a good idea for you to do so. But don't get so caught up in the swag that you die. Because dying is not swag at all. It's, in fact, the most unswag thing you can do. Especially if it loses you the run. So yes, very unswag. Do not try at home. Well, okay, I made a terrible mistake there, and I almost died. Basically, I just flew into a blind crevice. I don't know why I did that. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. But luckily, I didn't die. Can I get in here? Yeah, I can. Nice little 3,000 point chunk for me. If you like flying, if you like, you know, wingsuit controls and such, this is a fun game. I picked it up a few years ago. But I only recently took up playing this game again. It's been in my Steam library for kind of a long time. But anyway, we want to get to like 300,000 before we stop. Before we crash, I mean. Now eventually what happens is you reach your goal. Like, you reach 250,000 and you beat your old record. So then what do you gotta do? Well, what you do is you start doing the risky strats once you hit about 300,000. It's like, I've reached as far as I'm going to reach. Or as far as I need to. And we can have some fun with it. I mean, there is something to be said for continuing with the safe strats. But, probably portals are probably the safest strats you can go for. Every portal is worth about 1,000. So, so a portal is worth roughly, as you can see, we're doing some, like, simple strafe glides, where we just kind of surf around the edge of the mountain. And that gives us some, each combo will be, around the 300 to 1,500 range. So a portal, it is a good bet if you want some nice, guaranteed, not too dangerous points. Oh god, I almost flew into that. See, that blind crevice up there is dangerous. So you got to be careful before you fly into a crevice. You want to be very careful and ensure that it is in fact a crevice you can fly out of once you fly into it. Because, as stated before, dying is very unswag. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, good. Who designed these mountains? Do you want an in-canon answer? Do you want an in-canon answer? Or an out-of-canon answer? Basically, out of canon, the game developers made an engine which creates mountains. So the game developers made these mountains indirectly. There's an infinite number of these mountains. Okay, so that's the answer I got. The canonical answer? I don't know. These mountains are, the canonical answer, following... Oh, yes, good. Nice 2,000 points. Following our previous thread of the person who was, who was blasted between dimensions in an unfortunate accident, these mountains... So here's the thing about in-between spaces. Some in-between spaces are happy to be amorphous. They're happy to be superpositioned. But the problem is that human brains really like things to be stuck into just one position. So our spaceship explorer, he comes here, and instead of being the aimless, formless, the shapeless energy of the void, instead, because he is here and his brain and consciousness demand that this be something, it orients itself according to his understanding. It sort of forms a shape based on what his brain would deem acceptable. And what is acceptable is weird mountains. So that's your canonical answer. So the canonical answer is these aren't actually mountains. This is the weird matter of other planes just forms itself to resemble mountains under the right conditions. So they are mountains, but at the same time, they're not mountains. They're as much mountains as if you made a little glob of sour cream on a plate into the shape of a mountain, and you called that a mountain. These are mountains as much as that is a mountain. They are mountains insofar as we accept them as mountains. If you believe it's a mountain, it's mountain enough. Can I get in there? I want to. Yeah, looking good. Can I get in there? Oh, it's risky. It's risky, but it's worth it. They're playing the live-action Dragon Ball. Who is? Noob. Noob. Go forth into the world. Stop them from playing the live-action Dragon Ball. This cannot be allowed to happen. You must go forth and destroy their gathering. Or, you know, just tell them that it's non-canon, and then hopefully that will be okay. Okay, I flew into a blind crevice again. I just felt like it. It was not a good idea. Time to nap. Okay, well. Enjoy your nap. Yes, everyone knows how terrible the Dragon Ball live-action movie is. Yes. Can I get in there? Yeah, I can. Looks like there's a lot of those little featurettes, functionettes. Can I get down there? Yes, but it's highly risky. But that's okay. There's eventually, when you play a game like this long enough, you learn what you can get away with. Like, that's the real secret. Like, there are things that are bad ideas, but you're skilled enough to get away with them. And that makes them okay. There are some things in life that are like that as well. Sometimes a thing is a bad idea, but it's not a bad idea specifically for you. It's just a bad idea for most people, because most people don't know the system quite like you do. But for you, it's a fine idea. Now, this only applies to systems with which you are familiar, and sometimes intimate familiarity is required. But that's the thing. Eventually you learn what you're capable of. And eventually you can do some cool stuff. I still don't know what I could do on that FTL run to not die. That was a very rough run. I wonder if the double flak would have been enough. If we needed anything else. The flak would have been... like, we had a good build. We flaked down the shields. And after we flaked down the shields, we light up the ship with the fire beam. This damages systems or distracts crew. And it just generally works. But near the end of the run, it worked. The strategy failed enough that I no longer believed in the strategy. So perhaps it was my lack of faith that killed it. Perhaps. Oh, oh, by the way, if you've never watched the Dragon Ball live action movie, I guess I recommend that you see it, because just so you understand its place in history as one of the most bizarre, mystifying, and thoroughly off the canonical mark adaptations maybe ever. The joke that went around about Dragon Ball Evolution is that it stole from every intellectual property except Dragon Ball. It's a weird movie. Can I live? Okay, I am living. Very good. I can survive this as well. I go up here, I skim very close, and we're good. It's so bad that you love it. Love to hate it. That's one way to do it. Yes, I want to go in there. So like, tricks like this, like going through this loop here, they're not the biggest tricks, because that loop is not very tight. But you string enough of those together in a run, and eventually, you know, you have a run. Ooh, okay. Tricks like that are a little more spur of the moment. It's so bad, but you would never turn it off if it was on. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure I've seen... I've seen probably like half a dozen reviews for the movie, but I've never seen the entire uninterrupted movie. I know of it through clips and through reputation. You know, maybe we need a movie night to watch that. Bad movie night. Can I make this? Hope so. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Let's see. Let's see. I don't see any nice tricks here. I'm just gonna exit. There we go. That's a nice, happy little dive. And we've reached 300,000. I wonder if that's good enough. The original Mario Bros. Movie, I have seen that. It's something. I don't know what, but it's definitely something. It's like there's like one or multiple artistic visions at work in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So like something is definitely going on there. But I think it was like reshot at least once. So like the end result is a little crazy. Would I say I like the Super Mario Bros. Movie? It's like, it's one of those movies. I don't know. I like to watch The Room. Just like about once a year is often enough to watch The Room with Tommy Wiseau. Because it also has a creative vision. That creative vision is like batshit insane, but it's not even that it's insane. It's like it's like a normal story, but it's the actual production of the thing, the acting in it is so off the wall. It's so ham, so out there that just it takes what would be something mediocre and it makes it into something fantastical and amazing. I actually have a DVD copy of The Room that someone gave me. It's great. Let's see, what other movies are like that? There was I did see the Avatar movie, The Last Airbender, with M. Night Shyamalan. I did see all of that. Honestly, I've not seen the entire, like I can tell that it has some, it's not perfect. But without having seen the entire anime, it's only like moderately kind of off the mark. Like, it's lame in the way that, you know, it's lame in the way that a lot of Hollywood blockbusters are. But it's not off the wall absurd like The Room is. I think it's probably, like, similar to the Dragon Ball movie. Like, to me, they're both kind of in the same ballpark. I see them both as similar. Now, I haven't seen Dragon Ball yet, though, so maybe I gotta see Dragon Ball first, and then it'll all make sense. Don't defend them. Okay. What are some other terrible movies I can defend and drive everyone mad? Let's see. There's not that many movies that are... Like, the ones that get the most shit, the ones that get the most flack, are definitely the adaptation movies. Like, your Dragon Balls, and your Last Airbenders, and the, I've heard some poor reviews of Ghost in the Shell. Because the live-action movie, the reviews seem to agree, it lacks the charm, aesthetic, and taste of the anime. So, I'm not going to go defending that one. Certainly not without seeing it first. There's a lot of... Adaptation is hard, you know? Because not everything that works in an anime or in an animated movie work quite as well in a live-action movie. I think half the problem is just... it's the insistence on live-action. It's like... it's the idea that live-action is the way. And so it draws a lot of, shall we say, uninformed executives who say, we want to make this movie, but in live action. And, you know, we all know what happens when uninformed executives try to run things. They're uninformed, and they miss the mark. Sometimes they miss the entire point of the movie. Case in point, there's got to be. There's definitely some movies where they just miss the entire point. Fuck everyone who didn't like Ghost in the Shell. Really? Huh. You're in the 1% who love Warcraft. Heck, dude. Oh, yes. Detective Pikachu. Rave reviews. New Sonic. Also rave reviews. You see, this is why I need to watch more movies, but... Gotta get more services. There's so many things that are just in the canon. It's not even that they're in the canon, because canons move and shift all the time. I just want to be more educated about films, you know. Maybe that's a weird way to look at it. Be like, I want to watch a bunch of bad movies, so I'm educated about bad movies. But it's more than that. It's like we watch movies because movies are, they're metaphors for, you know, life. And so, to want to know more movies is to want to know more about life. They're basically, they're very closely tied. Not one and the same, per se. I guess I'll have to watch Ghost in the Shell and give it a thing. I guess I'll have to watch that too. Where can I watch it, though? See, that's the question. I'm sure there's places you can find it. It's not that hard if you know where to look. I don't know, I'm in a weird place with movies. I like to watch movies with other people, but I guess I'm just not a movie person anymore. I was very... No, I don't think I've ever been a movie person. They're kind of a... I'm talking myself into a hole, and I don't know what to do about it. Please help. Let me search... Okay. Searching the meme database. Send nudes. No, that's not the one. Please send help. There, that's the one. Please send help. Scarlett Johansson. Last movie that changed your life for real was a movie called Captain Fantastic. Captain Fantastic. I guess I'll write that down. What is Captain Fantastic? My brain couldn't even read that for a second, because it just... My brain just got caught in between, you know, one of the Marvel captains and Mr. Fantastic. And now I'm just thinking about comic book movies. So, if it's not a comic book movie... some clarification would be nice, but otherwise I'll just look it up later. Oh, fuck. Okay. Heck, dude. Well, we've done it. Top 1,000. Oh. Good shit. It's a drama with Viggo Mortensen. It's basically a movie about a family. Mostly a dad raising his kids away from society in the woods and the effects it has on them. And what that would really mean. Well, that sounds interesting. Huh. Huh. Well, GG, everybody. Well, we have about 20 minutes max left in the stream, if we even want to continue the stream. And my brain is kind of running out of juice. We could do Islanders. Just a quick bout of Islanders. It's an option. Just a peek. Just a little 20-minute peek of Islanders. Sure. Why not? We'll do that.